Skill checks are actually really easy to run. Online, we talk about their usage and it looks a whole lot more complicated. So let me give you a breakdown. So your party enters a room, solid stone floors going across about 30 feet to the other side, stone walls, and you can see a door on the other side. What do? Okay, we look around before we go in. Okay, roll me a perception check. Highest roll of the check is a 20. Okay, what you see is the smooth stone goes across. There's like a tiling, like there's a 1 foot by 1 foot square all the way across. The walls are relatively simple, and it's a simple wooden door at the other side, and you don't notice anything out of the ordinary other than it's a pretty clean room, and it's about 30 feet long and only about 20 feet wide. The perception check was a DC 25. The highest roll was a 20. What they would have noticed was that each one of those squares, every other one is slightly raised up. Very difficult perception check. But someone says, you know what, I feel something about those floors. I want to roll an investigation check. They roll an investigation check. As you put your hand down, as you're looking through the tiles, you actually press a little too hard and you hear a click below your hand. Nothing happens, but you felt the tile depress ever so slightly. What just happened was there was a DC 15 investigation check. If they would have been higher than that, they would have noticed that every other tile is actually slightly raised than the other tiles, not knowing which one is which, but one there has a depression. Their hand pressure pushed on a tile because they failed their check. The reason I'm rolling an investigation check is because there's an attempt to actually have a consequence at failure, but they didn't fail that bad. They actually rolled a 13. So now their hand is depressed. It gives them a chance to react, to think before they just pull their hand off of there. They pull their hand off quickly, getting advantage on their dexterity saving throw, which they succeed, so only one dart hits them for 1d4 poison damage. Then from there, they get to the other side, and I say, okay, does anyone have, we investigate the wall after getting through the traps. Does anyone have Arcana? No one has the Arcana skill. Okay, roll me an intelligence check. One person gives me a 20 intelligence check. Okay, so you can tell by the runes on the wall, this is definitely arcane energy and it is actually active. You're not sure what it does, but it's definitely there. If someone would have been proficient in Arcana and they would have rolled a 10 or higher, they would have known that it's a ward. Now, if they were to roll 15 or higher, it's a ward actually for spirits, keeping them either at bay on one side or the other. So it's either protecting something inside or protecting something outside. If they roll a 20, they find out that it's keeping something in. So what we have here is a series of skill checks that, depending on what someone is actually proficient in, shows what they're capable of doing. Even though the people aren't proficient, there's no arguing that they would know what those Arcana skills are. Someone may have said, well, hey, can I roll religion because, do these arcane symbols have a religious effect? Well, the thing is they're keeping spirits inside. So maybe I would allow them to do that. Or someone has said, well, I have had experience with arcane in the past. Can I roll an intelligence check to see what they could be?